So the first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to show you, since this is the first time we're cutting out and gluing something into our science notebook, I'm just going to show you how to do it, and just make sure you're following along. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to have to cut around the entire box. I know this might seem silly, but we're going to go through it together. Okay, now that you cut around the entire box, we are just going to cut on these 4 solid lines. Do not cut along these lines. So you're just cutting along these 4 lines. Once you're done cutting those 4 lines, you will not need your scissors anymore. And then, in order to glue this in, just make sure you turn your notebook. I'm going to actually turn mine like that with the holes at the top. And then I am going to place glue in this middle section on the back side of the scientific method. So just glue it like that, and then place it in the middle of the page, and that is it. And then these act as little tabs. As we learned last week, scientists ask questions. And you know, right now in our world, I'm constantly being told to wash my hands, use hand sanitizer to prevent from spreading germs. So my question and our experiment that we're going to be focusing on is, does soap and hand sanitizer really prevent germs from spreading? So here in our first tab of our scientific method, we're going to write that question. Does soap and hand sanitizer prevent germs from spreading? So this is the question I have as a scientist. Investigation experiment will hopefully answer. But before we can actually conduct the actual experiment, we have to form our hypothesis. So a hypothesis is kind of what you think is going to happen, or which might work better. So I know a lot of people, especially my doctors, are telling me to use soap before I do anything to prevent those spreads. So I personally think that soap will better prevent the spread of germs than hand sanitizer. So that's what I'm going to write. But if you think that hand sanitizer might work better, then you can write that as your own hypothesis. So I'm going to write soap will better prevent the spread of germs than hand sanitizer. So again, that's my hypothesis, but if you don't think that's what's going to happen, then I want you to go ahead and write hand sanitizer instead. And then also, our next step of the scientific method would be to conduct an experiment.